If you're looking to become the go-to expert in your field, then this video is for you. What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe in the amazing talent that you have inside here that I want to see explode out onto the world. One of the questions I get asked a lot by entrepreneurs is, I'm an expert. I want to be seen as the expert. I want to be the person that people go to for my niche, my industry, my area of expertise. How do I do it? And so in this video, I'm going to share my 7 ways on how to be the go-to expert in your field. Way number 1 is actually be an expert. And that's not a joke. A lot of people who think they know a lot about an industry are not actually that great at what they do. And so you need to put in the work to be the actual expert in your field. If you are not the expert, that's okay. You can document your journey along the way to becoming one. A great example I can think of is a guy named Michael Dunlop. He had a series that he had on his website for a while where he was documenting how to be a successful internet marketer. And he didn't know a lot himself. He had done some things, but he wasn't the expert. He had all these people on and was doing interviews with them. And I loved watching his stuff because I wanted to learn how to be a better internet marketer myself. As he started learning from all these successful people, he built up his credibility, he built up his knowledge base, and then soon he got to be an expert in the field too. He learned enough from all these other people, he started applying their knowledge, he started tweaking it and adapting it to his own template, his own personality, his own style, and he started learning things on his own that then he could teach as well. And so if you are the expert, that's great. If you're not, don't pretend to be, but you can document your journey and bring on other experts, learn from them. It's a great hack. Like if you ever want to learn how to do something, interview somebody who knows what they're doing and showcase them on your channel, on your platform, even if it's small. You'd be surprised at how many people say yes. And in the path of documenting your journey, you then become the expert. Way number 2 is pick your niche. If you're in a giant industry, it can be hard to be the go-to person, and so the way to start is to pick your niche. Go smaller and then expand your base. So as an example, I love baseball, so we'll use the Toronto Blue Jays as an example. Maybe you are the expert on the Toronto Blue Jays minor league system, right? How many people really know the ins and outs of the Toronto Blue Jays minor league system? You could be that person. It wouldn't be that hard to develop the skills to be that person. Then as you got that under your hood and you are the expert, you can expand and you can be the person who knows the Toronto Blue Jays, everything Toronto Blue Jays. And then after that, you could expand and be the person who knows baseball. And you just keep building your knowledge set and your base and your expertise. You started here, you started in one niche, and as you got better, you expanded. I think about Facebook, that's how they started. They started just being for college campuses. That's all it was for, college campuses. And then as college students started to use it, they told other people and they brought on their grandparents and their parents and their friends and their kids, and it just started to expand where now Facebook is for everyone. And so if you start too broad at the beginning, then it's hard to be seen as that expert because you're not specialized enough. There's lots of competition. There's lots of people who do it. Where if you can pick a niche, be known as that person for this specific niche, you get paid more, you get lots of attention for it, it's easier to stand out, it's easier to be the go-to expert, and then you slowly build out your skill sets and what you're known for. Way number 3 is form alliances. I'd be looking at who are the people in your industry who have a similar target audience, and how can you start working with them to showcase your expertise and get some recognition and credibility. In my case, as an example, when I was trying to learn about YouTube and trying to grow, I followed Tim Schmoyer and Daryl Eves on YouTube. These were the go-to guys for me of how to build a YouTube channel, and I was in their community. I had a previous background in entrepreneurship, in venture capital, in building businesses, in speaking, and so as I got more comfortable with their content, I knew what they were looking for, I reached out to them. And what I did was pitch them different ideas that I knew would be good content for their channel because I was a part of their community. And Tim, I was on 3 or 4 times, and that was part of his series. Daryl, I was on once or twice. And that started getting me even more credibility. At the time, both of their channels were bigger than mine. I found a way to add value based off my expertise. That helped build up my exposure. Everybody who watched their content now knew a little bit about me. Who's this Carmichael guy? Oh, that thing he said was pretty interesting. I'm gonna go check him out. They come and they subscribe to my channel. And so looking at who you can do collaborations with inside the industry, who is not a direct competitor of yours, but has some complementary ideas, but still serves the same customers, can be really, really important to building up your credibility and getting your name more well known. Way number 4 is create content. What I would suggest is figure out what is the best execution of sharing your content? What do you love doing? For me, I love video. This is where I like to be. I like YouTube. I like the idea that my content lives forever. I don't like platforms as much where my stuff disappears in 24 hours. I want my grandkids to see this video and every video that I make. That's always the intention. I'm trying to build a legacy here. And so YouTube really fits well for my skill set and where my audience is. If you want to be known as a go-to expert in your industry, then you want to think about where are your customers paying attention. It's marketing 101. Where are your customers? And then you want to be there. And then you combine it with what your skills are. Now with social media, your customers are on a lot of different platforms. But if you're selling B2B, you're going to go to LinkedIn. And if you love making video and your customers there, you're going to go to YouTube. If you love writing and your customers are there, you might still go LinkedIn, but you might do Medium or you might do Twitter if you can keep it short and concise. And so figuring out what the best execution of your idea spreading is where you want to be. You don't need to be everywhere, especially at the start. I think that's terrible advice to say go everywhere because you will suck at everything and you don't stand out in any of them. Where it's better to be amazing at one thing and then be able to expand beyond. So pick where your audience are and pick what you love doing and share your message. Because as long as you just keep your ideas in here and nobody knows about it, you might be the greatest expert in the world, but nobody will find you because you're not sharing enough. It's also never been easier to be the go-to expert if you actually know what you're talking about because the proliferation of ideas has never been easier to do than right now. When you're watching this video. It's never been easier to spread ideas. Just make sure that you have the right ideas to spread and you're using the right platforms that fit your personality. Way number 5 is use traditional media. There's still a lot of benefit in using traditional media. Not as much as before, but still being able to put New York Times or CNN or Inc. magazine up on your website adds a lot of credibility. So when somebody's visiting your site and they see that you've done these things, you've been in these newspapers, you've been on magazines, maybe not the cover, but you've been in a magazine, you've been recognized as an expert, then it adds more credibility and then people will talk about you and want to come back and want to refer you. The very first one that I got with a major publication was New York Times. I want to say 19 or 20 years old, and I forget what the topic was even about. I think it was something around work-life balance or something like that. It didn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter what the story is. It's that I was in the New York Times, right? And I put that on my website, and people said, wow, he's in the New York Times. He's done something. And so then that led to interviews here and here and here and here, and so I could expand my base. And if they see you as being an expert in one field, then it's easy to transition to others, and other publications want to write about you, and you slowly become known as the person. I'd also be looking at any of those lists that come out of the top X speakers or industry experts. Inc. magazine does them, and Forbes does them, and Fortune does them. Find out who the person is who's writing those lists and connect with them and let them know what you're all about, and maybe you'll be considered for the next one. I've never done that purposely in terms of outreach. I've been featured on Inc. magazine and a couple other ones as top leadership speakers and top social media experts and all these things. And everything adds more credibility. I've never forced it. I've never tried to make an attempt to be put on these lists, but you could. It's not that hard. You just have to get to know the person who's making that list, follow them on social media, engage with them, let them know what you're up to, support them in the campaigns that they're putting out, comment on their content, give them suggestions and feedback. Pretty soon you get to be known as an expert, and then you're going to be featured on the next list, which will give you even more credibility. Way number 6 is tell your story. This is how you stand out. This is how people get to know you and remember you. What is your story? What are you so great at? What is your history? How did you get here from where you were? I think a lot of people still come off as super boring, super conventional, super conservative, and you have a boring picture and a boring bio, and I can't make a connection. If I don't understand who you are and what you stand for, it's harder for me to want to work with you, to want to hire you, to want to pay you to come speak at my event, and to help spread the message. And so having an authentic picture, ideally a video where you can really share your story and get into it. You don't have to be, unless you're a speaker, you don't have to have a great video. And if you are a speaker, you need a great video. Where's your video if you're a speaker? But if you're not, just telling your story. Like if you love making shoes, You don't have to be the best person on video, but let me just feel your passion for shoes. You could be the go-to expert on all things shoes. And if I see a video with care and love and heart, and you tell me the story of how you got into the shoe business and why it means so much to you, that's gonna win me over. That's gonna make me want to do business with you and talk about you and write about you and hire you and work with you and refer people to you. You need to tell your story. That's how you win as an entrepreneur. When people connect with you personally and not just a corporate building that you're trying to create. And way number 7 is over-deliver like crazy. If you truly are an expert, then your goal is in every single conversation with somebody, you are blowing their mind with the amount of value and content that you can provide. This is always my goal. In every meeting with an entrepreneur, I'm trying to blow their mind to help them, not from a egotistical point of view or even I really need to be the expert and so I'm gonna blow them away. I just feel it's the right thing to do. Like, I want somebody to make a change. If you come to me and you have a limiting belief or you have a problem and I know that I can help you, if I can't, then that's a different issue, but I know that I can help you, I want you to make that change. And I will be on you and I will raise the stakes and I will get you inspired so that you can actually go off and do that thing. And what ends up happening is if you go off and do the work, then you're gonna tell your friends about me and you're gonna subscribe to my YouTube channel, you're gonna consume more content. Again, it's not a strategic thing, but it could be. I do it because it's just the right thing to do and I love it. But you could do it with strategy behind it, and that every conversation you have, every email you're sending out, every social media engagement that you create, every speaking gig that you get, every fan that you're talking to, every customer that comes in, prospect or not, you blow them away. You give them insane value. And if you're over-delivering like crazy, that's when word of mouth starts to spread. And that's what you need as an entrepreneur. That's what you need as an expert. You're not taking out Super Bowl commercials. You need people to talk about you. And that comes from understanding your story, understanding your mission, understanding how good you are at what you're doing, but giving them insane value. If you do that, then word will spread. So those are my 7 ways on how to be the go-to expert in your field. I would love to know which of the 7 ways had the biggest impact on you and what you're going to apply in your business somehow. Did I miss an 8, 9, 10 that you want to add to the list? Leave it in the comments below. I'm really curious to find out. Now, I made this video because Will's Gills asked me to. So if there's a topic you'd like me to cover in a future video, check out the request line in the description and go cast your vote. I just might do it. Finally, I want to give a quick shout out to John Sonmez, a simple programmer. Thank you so much, John, for picking up a copy of my book, Your One Word, featured on your YouTube channel. I really appreciate all the support, man. Congrats on all the success you've had on your channel, and I'm so excited to see it continue to grow. So thank you guys again for all the love. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love. I'll see you soon.
So let me give you the one-word secret to happiness. One word. This is all you need to be happy.
The most important word ever.
If you had to think of one word that's most important to you or that sums you up or that would be kind of like a little beacon.
Hey Believe Nation, if you want to know what the most important one word is for Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Oprah Winfrey, will.i.am, and Howard Schultz, I have a very special secret video for you. Check the description for details.